Well, we offered
different podcast.
We offered
Yes.
a Tang bomb before he left.
And his response was?
His response was, I haven't drank for 20 years. That's why I look like this. And then he turned around and walked away. I guess we were supposed to take that personally. I'm not sure. But
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Right.
Well, we have Tang bombs.
Take notes.
We look like this.
Right. Right. Well, go do your setups. I'm going to get blotto.
Maybe you'd have hair if you drank Tang bombs.
Right. Right. We all have hair.
Yeah, that was maybe a little dig, maybe a little shade from GD. I don't know.
Dig, but again, he's
All right.
bald and we're not.
All right, boys, here we go. Squanto, Sachagawea. How's it going?
Very
It's
well.
going great.
Very well.
We're into the season. You guys look good. Coming off a unfortunate loss with the Iowa Hawkeyes against the Oregon Ducks, the foul of the Northwest.
Indeed.
Well, you guys went to the game, right?
Yep.
We did go to the game.
What was that was a rainy game, wasn't it? Or did it get just
No, it was
cold?
a driving, cold rain
Whole
whole night.
Right.
Yeah.
All the time. Yep. Yeah. My daughter bailed, but I mean, we had a great chance up until the last.
They did.
Very,
Took
very,
the
very
lead
bitter
with
end.
less than 2 minutes left. It was a great game, and
I wasn't leaving.
it was a typical crazy Kinnick under the lights atmosphere. Everything except the final kick.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
It went
but-
the other way this time.
Yeah, it did. But
I did not watch the game or listen to the game. I was in the actual hinterlands, and I couldn't pull in the radio signal. But I watched it on a score bug on my phone. I think I turned in with like 3 minutes, 18 seconds left, and I saw we were losing. I was like, "Well, crap!" And then I noticed the little football was by Iowa.
Yeah.
And it was like Iowa, first and 10 at the 20. I was like, holy crap. And then we got down to like the 6-yard line, and there was the 2-minute warning. I thought, oh, man,
Right.
2 minutes is a lot of time.
Yes.
And then we scored immediately.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know.
And
Take the points when you can get them, but
yeah.
and you would normally count on you would expect the D to be.
It's been kind of
holed
an
up
alternate
and that.
universe this year. The offense gets
So-
the points when we need it, and
Right.
we didn't get
Yeah.
the defense to hold. But I think, like any sports fan in any environment, it was cold, wet, and raining, and you
Yeah.
feel every bit of that until Mark Gronowski scores a touchdown to take the lead,
Yeah.
and then it's like someone lit a little campfire right in your set, right? And
Right.
all that goes away, and then about 90 seconds later, it's like the campfire got extinguished. You're cold, wet, bitter.
Yeah.
stupid rain.
Yep.
Yeah.
But such is life as a sports fan.
Yeah.
So did you guys tailgate before the game?
We did tailgate before the game, and that was epic. We had a fantastic tailgate, an appearance by the Big Ten Network.
Oh, cool.
who
So you
filmed
Yeah.
footage and did a segment from our tailgate, which was fantastic.
Right.
Yeah, a producer had stopped by Steve's place on Friday afternoon and kind of tipped him off that they had seen the house and wanted to film some footage there. And Steve made sure we all knew to show up maybe a
Sent
little
out the
earlier
bat
than
signal.
normal. So we all kind of fanned emails out and text messages to the daughters and the college kids, and everyone rallied. And so we had a good crowd there a little earlier than we planned on.
For sure.
Right.
But it was well worth it because, like I said, the producers came by. Tim Dwight, former Hawkeye legend,
Oh, yeah.
among the other TV talent that was there and filmed a segment, and it was a lot of fun.
Among the other TV talent, who was some of the TV talent? Is it
I
the
don't
Fox
know.
people? Or is
No, it was
the
the Big Ten Network, that
Yeah.
Oh, Big
tailgate
Ten,
show
that's
crew.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
their studio crew. It was
Yeah.
traveling until, but the celebrity in Iowa City, of course, is Tim Dwight. So
Yeah, so those that are hip to it, our friend Steve has a house on Melrose, which is kind of the main drag to get to Kinnick. It is called the Rose Club, which is if you're going down Melrose towards Kinnick, it would be on the north side, the left-hand side of the road, and you will see people partying on top of the garage. That's the Rose Club. So it's
Great
pretty
spot.
well established. Steve does an amazing job every week. He does something to raise money for a philanthropic group or something out of Eastern Iowa, and it's a lot of fun. Top-notch place to tailgate.
And shout out to Steve. I mean, I think he reported. I don't know if you got the numbers of this weekend, John, but like this year, I think the Rose Club Foundation has given away over $10,000 to different community groups. So
Right.
Yep.
Really cool
Another
thing.
fantastic fundraising. It was Mardi Gras theme. We've talked about having themes before. So this week was Mardi Gras theme, which played really nicely on TV. We all had masks and beads, and we were in the backdrop of the shot while they're filming their segment. The one I think inside show business thing we all experienced is the applause sign.
Yeah.
They wanted like crowd noise and
Right.
a festive scene behind
Right.
the TV talent, and so the poor college girl doing that is holding this applause sign, and
Right.
it seemed like an eternity.
Right.
To continue
How do you
to
keep
get the 100 people to come up with
Yeah.
some applause and chants for that long was proved to be a bit of a challenge, but I think we did okay.
Were you on top of the
Yeah.
garage?
It's on
Yeah,
the
we
upper
were.
deck.
So,
Yeah.
so you had 100 people on top of the garage? Or
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Hey,
It
good
was
job,
awesome.
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But it was fun. And Tim Guy was very gracious. He took time, pictures. We have a flag that every time we have Hawkeye athletes and stuff, Cooper DeJean has signed it. We've had members of the baseball team, rowing team, and whatnot. And Tim got on a ladder and signed our Big Ten flag at the tailgate, so that's permanently etched in memory. So it was a really good, it's a good event. It's a
Really
event.
good.
Right. So the one thing I will never get over, we've had season tickets since 1978, having a beer vendor come up the aisle selling beers at Kinnick.
Yeah.
It's so, I mean, how many seasons? We're like 6 or 7 seasons into that, aren't we?
I know it is
Well,
a surreal scene.
I got a new one for you. I didn't mention this, I don't think, to you, John, but I was at the Iowa women's basketball game today, and last week in the sections down low, in the, they've got the kind of cream-colored plastic seats and then the black
Yeah.
down behind. They actually have order from your spot. They have a little QR code. You hit
Right.
it, and you can. I did it today. I got a glass of wine for Natalie and a beer for me, and you prepay,
Yeah.
and they come out and deliver it to you. Which is like, I thought that was like, really?
Right.
Well, we had a funny moment, not at this game, but the previous home game. We had some friends that have one of those new boxes in the north end zone. And there's 2 levels
Yeah.
of those.
Right.
Yeah.
And almost always in a club seating situation, the drinks that are on hand are included in the club.
Right.
So we're invited in, and we enjoyed all the things that the club had to offer. It felt a little bit like, if you remember in the Blues Brothers, when they get done playing at the Roadhouse,
Right.
and then they get the bartender.
Right.
Late in the
costs.
fourth quarter, here comes the
Yeah.
host,
Yeah.
Right.
tallying up the tab.
Right.
Oh, we'll just take up a little collection for the boys.
Well, let me tell you a story about that. Was it 2 years ago when we were playing, was it New Mexico? With the lightning delay game?
Oh, yes.
So there was this very famous Iowa game where we got up into the fourth quarter. It was nationally televised, and there was a lightning delay, and it was a pretty significant delay. And the storm that was lining up behind us was mostly lightning. There was some rain involved, but it was mostly lightning. I think the ruling is there's lightning, then you have a 30-minute delay.
Yeah. Yep.
So, and it was a night game. So we got to about 9:30, and my youngest is like, I'm out. So we take off at 10 o'clock, drive him back all the way back to the home, change out our wet clothes. My kid and his buddy go downstairs. I get them all set up with everything, and then I come down, and Big Ten Network on the Chiron says resumption of the Iowa game at 10:45 or whatever. Like, wow. So I went back to make sure that this was live television. Like, all right.
Yep.
So I got my stuff back on, and
Love
I
it.
went back to the game. And when I got in there, it was wide open. Like, people were taking their dogs in there. It
was surreal.
Crazy. And I'm
Yeah.
not kidding you. Like, I
They
saw.
weren't looking at tickets at all,
No.
right? It was like, yeah.
No, I mean, everybody that was working there was just like, I don't care. I said I'd stay, but I didn't say I'd work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're
I did the
just-
exact same thing. I was literally home in bed, had the AirPods on, and they said it's going to resume in like 30 minutes.
You came back down?
I went down. I texted Steve. He walked down. I parked
Right.
right
You
next
and
to
I
the
ended up
combine.
staying,
Yeah, I saw
yeah.
you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the students were walking around with the popcorn from the concession stands in
Right,
a
yeah.
garbage bag. It was
Right, right.
great. It was great, and it was Sunday football in Kinnick, which will never happen again.
So I go down to my seats in the north end zone because that's kind of our family tradition until the game is won. Lightning strikes. They pull everybody out of the bowl. I go up into those north end zone
Club seats.
club seats. And so I'm just kind of standing there, and there are 3 guys sitting in the club seats, and they said, hey, you want to come in here, Wyatt? And I said, sure. So I go in there, and it's got those big cushion leather chairs, and they said, well, you want some chicken wings? And I said, and I wanted to take a look at them because I kind of have some
Yeah.
loose standards about chicken wings, how long they've been in there. And I looked in there, chicken wings, meatballs,
Yeah.
bacon wrapped dates, the whole entire thing. And I said, have whatever you want. I said, really? And he said, yeah. So I had third dinner for the night, basically loaded up. So if you want something from the fridge, go ahead and grab it. So down there, the fridge was pretty still stocked, and I grabbed a beer and I grabbed a water and sat sitting there talking to them. They're from West Des Moines. Really nice guys. And I said, just a question. What's the buy-in for these things? I mean, I understand it now that I'm actually in it and they had a little television and a heater and everything. I said, what's the buy-in for this? They go, I don't know. It's not ours.
We'll have to ask the guy that we're squatting.
Right. They were just absolutely offering everything I wanted in this. Just like
Put it on Underhill's tab. Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
So no, that was an
that's
awesome
beautiful.
night.
Did you take the dates and would freeze them and serve them at Christmas?
Oh, I took everything. I had like 5 or 6 like ultras in my jacket, and I was out of there.
Wonderful.
I love it.
So anyway, well, that was Hawkeyes. It would have been awesome, instant classic if we could have done that, and Vegas would have rolled over in their pie. And
Yep, coulda, woulda, shoulda, but still having a good season and a lot left out there. We'll have a few more tailgates to talk about.
JP, when did you were traveling again? Oh, always on the go.
Yes, I was in Scotland all week. I actually got home late Wednesday night. Not too many delays with the air traffic situation, but a little delay. But got home about midnight on Wednesday night, so had enough time to get a little jet lag out of the system before the weekend.
Well, that is my homeland. Not too many generations ago, the Mathers walked out of the front door of a building that still stands and came and started their American journey. So
yeah,
that's
it's
cool.
Beautiful homeland.
Yep.
It definitely is. As often, I tell people I do travel a lot to work to Europe for work. Usually it's more time on an airplane than it is to actually get to see or do anything because it's work. This time I kind of knew what I was in for. We talked a couple podcasts ago about taking our international distributors out on the town when they came and visited us here in Iowa. Of course, one of those international distributors is who I was visiting this week, and he was much enthused, and I knew before I got there he was enthused to show me some pub/dive bar culture in Scotland, and he wanted to show me some of their drinks. He was hoping to find Tang bombs or secure that. He fortunately did not have that lined up. But the other thing he was heck bent on was he wanted me to try real Scotch because he had heard our podcast where we had Iowa produced Scotch. So normally it's very little play around the work. I knew that once the work day was done, there was going to be a little bit of a session involved the 2 nights I was there to check these boxes for him.
He had been lining this thing up mentally for a while.
He was He was ready to go. I kind of knew what I was in for, and when you're in Rome, you have to do it.
Got to
part of the deal. So that being said, we did do a Scotch tasting at Nathaniel's request, and I brought back some real Scotch. So I think we could right the wrong on that end, and we could try some real Scotch. So let me get you a quick glass, and we'll do a quick sampling.
Sounds good. Yeah. All right. So John has brought some legit Scotch in some legit Scotch tasting glass. So tell us what we got here, John.
Okay. Well, you may know the pronunciation better than me being native, but this is Aberfeldy is how I'll pronounce it. Highland single malt Scotch. We're going to drink the 21-year version. This is finished in Madeira casks. This is a travel exclusive. Remember, we had Joe on, and he verified that is a legitimate thing. Yeah. Things that are produced by these distilleries, and they only distill them like in duty free at international airports. So I picked this one up to bring back, and it's I guess rare enough that you'd have to get it at the Edinburgh airport if you wanted it. So
very nice.
Here you go. We'll see how it compares to Iowa Scotch.
All right, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
So this is a
really
non-peaty.
Oh, man. So nice.
Described to me by the proprietor at the airport that this is a very stone fruit, baked spice, fruit cake, toffee burnt sugar type finish. So
it's
very
sweet.
Christmassy is how it was described, which is enough to sell me.
Yeah, that's a good description.
Nice. Yeah.
That is really nice. My first Scotch experiences were so terrible, and if this would have been my first Scotch experience, it would have been,
You said this was a 20-year?
This is the 21.
21.
Yeah.
It's good.
Oh, man. Thank you for sharing that. That is really nice. No, I think that's exactly on. That's dead on. That is such a nice drink.
So we did a Scotch tasting at a distillery one night when I was there. It was a flight, you could pick, and we tried to avoid the peaty ones. Boy, they had, as you can imagine, in fact, they had one flight called the Campfire, and it was, and I just didn't even go for that. It was just way too much. But the one we had
for
was,
it at all. I don't mind them. I mean, if I know what I'm going into, but a bunch of it might be.
Yeah, so there was one. I mean, every flight had at least one peated.
Yeah,
and it was fine in that capacity. I just wouldn't want to climb into a bottle of it. It's overwhelming.
One of my very good friends growing up, his dad was a Scotch drinker. Matter of fact, almost exclusively a Scotch drinker. I remember him sharing one time with us that he said someday there'll be no peat smoked Scotch because Scotland will run out of peat. There's only a finite amount of
It
peat.
doesn't regenerate.
No, peat is just tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of years of decayed grass. And once they cut it and they burn it, it's gone. There's no making.
Yeah.
I guess not for another 10,000 years or whatever. But
So to close the loop a little bit on the Scottish business trip, I was in Edinburgh most of the time. Beautiful city, amazing pubs, and the old city center is just phenomenal. As nice as any place I've been in Europe. It never ceases to amaze me, though. Both here in London, one thing that was true is the tourist lines when you saw one was inevitably for something related to Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's fascinating in London of all the different historical things
Right.
you can see and do in London.
Right.
And you go somewhere where there's a movie clip filmed or something,
Right.
and the lines will be from like you can go to the crosswalk on Abbey Lane and take your
Yeah.
picture. There's no one
Yeah.
there anymore.
Right.
Yeah, you don't have to wait too long to see the crown jewels, but if you want to get your picture taken by the cart at platform 13 and 3/4, you have to wait like 2 hours. Same thing in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
There's a famous street, Victoria Street, which is, I guess for Potter fans, the inspiration for Diagon Alley, kind of a curved street with a bunch of whimsical storefronts and stuff.
Yeah.
And there was a little queue in the middle of the road, like 2 blocks long. And of course, it was for the Wizard and Curiosity Shop, which has probably been opened after, I think,
Right.
clearly the films.
Right.
The Elephant Cafe, which is where J.K. Rowling penned
Okay.
the first Harry Potter book,
Yeah.
there was another huge line for that.
Yeah.
The one thing none of the locals can answer definitively for me. I did not do independent research. Maybe you have, Ray, and you know this, but butterbeer that's famous,
Oh,
or butterscotch
yeah.
beer in the
Right.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They serve it at the Elephant Cafe. Whether that came first or came after the movies seemed to be a source of debate amongst the locals. Some said that
Okay.
butterscotch beer was a thing and that inspired the writing. Others said that they brought it on board after the book came out. So maybe someone can tell us if the truth in that.
It does. So did you get fitted for a kilt while you're there?
I did not, but I do already have a kilt, so I wasn't in need of that. Of course, I didn't take my kilt with me.
Is your
but
kilt, you got the night watch, is your kilt black and
I
red?
do. I have
Yeah.
a law enforcement tartan
Right.
on mine
The
for
night
my days
watch,
in
yeah.
police. Yep. So to finish up on the bars. One really cool, unique bar we went to was a Frankenstein bar. Very cool, done in like black flowers, really dark inside. They had some screens playing the old 1931 Frankenstein. They had like an 8-foot tall Frankenstein. It was kind of a neat, maybe touristy, but kind of a cool place. But we did go out into the neighborhoods down by the port area because Nathaniel wanted to hit some authentic dive bars. And we stumbled into some great things. We went into one of the bars. There was probably 8 guys on like a Tuesday night. Thick Scottish accents that you really can't understand, and well into their whiskey, and the banter back and forth, and between them and the barmaid, they were really getting after it. And every now and then they'd break out
Chirping
into
each
a
other.
drinking song, and that was just the deal. I mean, they'd sing for like 30 seconds, and they'd go back to arguing with each other about whatever nonsense. And so it was kind of a fun scene just to kind of plop into what a dive bar culture looks like there a little bit.
I've got a beer question for you, John.
Yes.
Because we were talking about the butter beers, but then I remembered that I think you sent me a pic of Bass on Tap.
Yes.
And as you know, I've been lamenting for
As
the
have I.
past, has it been a year? I feel like it's been 8-12 months. I used to get a Bass on Tap at the Wig and Pen, or if I got a black and tan.
Yeah.
It was a Guinness and Bass, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Can't do it. And at first I asked Chris about it. He's like, yeah, no, there's a global shortage, or like they're not importing it or something. Then I kind of asked a few other places, and turns out, I haven't seen a Bass in the U.S. for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And I did see, 'cause it must have been a couple years ago when I sent you a picture, and I did see Bass, I think it was in Belfast. And you said you can report that in Edinburgh you can get a Bass on Tap. And
You
it's
can, and I've been looking for it everywhere I travel because we have a dear friend that passed away, and Bass was his go-to beverage. We used to always have it for tailgates. We
Yeah.
black and tans with Bass Ale.
Heck yeah.
And
I love
have
Bass.
not been able to find it. I was optimistic I would stumble across it in London or somewhere in England in my travels this year, and I intentionally have looked for it and have never found it. Was not even thinking about it. We went into one of the pubs, and actually we had a drink there. We were on our way out, and I just saw, and it was cask condition, like pump, not
Right.
I'm like, well, we're staying for a couple more and it was absolutely the same flavor profile and everything. A little bit different because it's cask, so it was a little warmer and a little flatter, but it was absolutely Bass Ale. So, which was
I'm jealous. Yeah.
Yeah.
I miss it. I hope they can make it available here in the States again.
So the last tasting I'm going to subject you to is we're going to revisit the eggs because something else I've not seen anywhere in Europe. I always look for the food and I see chips and some things like that at some of the pubs. But we went into a pub late in the evening and they had a big jar of pickled eggs just like you'd see at a dive bar in the USA. So of course I had to have them. And Nathaniel, having listened to the podcast, was insisting we were going to have them.
Right.
For sure.
Very interesting because it was everything you would think at a dive bar. It was a big jar of eggs, handwritten sign, pickled eggs. But the presentation there, it came in like what you would get your afternoon tea in. It was in cup and saucer with fancy little salt and pepper shaker, which didn't totally fit the motif,
Classed it up
but
a
added to
little
it. So I've got some eggs here for us. So what we're going to do is revisit our Herb's eggs that have been aging and see if they're continuing to get better. And I'll give you what I think, how they compare to the bar top Scottish pickled eggs.
All right, sounds good.
So you want me to drop a bite of this now?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So we're eating Herb's eggs. These were opened about 10 weeks ago.
Yeah.
11 weeks ago. Or no, actually about 10 weeks ago.
And as we talked about when we first opened them, the brine was clear.
Right.
It continues, I think, to darken as we go.
Yeah. Cloudy.
We can put a picture on the Facebook page, but
Right.
and maybe it was a relatively new batch of eggs at the bar I was at in Scotland. Brine wasn't super dark.
Yeah.
These have definitely got a more vinegary bite.
Right. They're getting a little bit more
I think
vinegar.
they're aging properly.
We'll put a picture up in the Deep Dive Pod if you want to chase us in Facebook. So it's a Deep Dive Pod group. We're in a group, and we'll throw a picture of what the pickled eggs look like.
While we're eating these, a couple other food notes from Scotland. I got a Scotch egg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, little twist here though.
Okay.
That I'd never seen before.
All right.
This Scotch egg was wrapped in like a smoked herring, like almost a crab cake type situation, not sausage, over the egg.
Okay. So is it a filleted fish or is it a diced up minced fish?
Minced.
Really?
Almost like minced into like a crab cake.
Really?
Wrapped around the egg and fried.
Really?
I was all about that as a unique idea.
Right.
Super, super just strong fishy taste mixing with the egg. Can't say I dug it.
Hey, Scotland, let's get with it, man. Now, I know they probably don't have a bunch of port on the upper side of the island, but I will tell you this. They could at least go with salmon.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got the salmon over there.
They do. They do. And you'll be happy to know that I had haggis.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Yeah.
It's a textural thing for sure. I don't think most people would dig the texture.
Right.
And it's kind of interesting how they serve it because it's basically the haggis in the middle, and then it's like a squash type mush on the left, and on the right is like a mashed potato.
Okay.
So it's all soft on the palate. So there's no crunch.
Because I thought, and I don't even know, was that described as the traditional presentation? Because
It was.
It was, okay. Because I had it similar to that, but I thought that the whole haggis challenge, which I didn't have to face when I tried it once, was you had to bite through this casing. That there was like this.
It's in a casing, but it's super thin membrane.
Okay.
That was not tough to puncture. So
okay, I think Ray's going to drop some haggis
Right.
facts on us.
So haggis is a savory traditional Scottish dish. It's made from sheep's, basically their heart, liver, and lungs. So it's just the organ meat.
Yeah.
Which is usually pretty flavorful. So here's the textural part of it. It is cooked with oatmeal. So the oatmeal absorbs all of that, and which really kind of gives it its flavor. But it also has spices, which are onions, and I think there's mint involved in that. The original haggis,
it's heavily spiced.
yeah, it was so the original casing would have been cleaned stomach lining.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
so some of that was what they had. So but yeah, and then it's baked, so it's kind of it's really, once you get past that membrane, it's kind of mushy. But it's super flavorful. It's like a meat pie, basically.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
One of the customers I was with there that's from London said that the history of haggis is that the English knights and army took all the best cuts of the lamb, and they just left the locals to make what they could with what was left.
Yeah.
And there may be some truth in something like that. I think the other thing interesting over there on menus, a lot of game at just regular restaurants. Venison, super common, all that stuff. I mean, almost more common than, beef products on menus. But you just don't see a lot of that here. The other than seafood pie, which is obviously super common, but venison was the next most popular pie on every menu.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's a little unique in that regard.
So did you get to hike around a little bit? That's what everybody in my family, all good Scotsmen, take a good hour-long walk every day.
Yeah. So when I got in, and this is kind of my normal routine when I travel, obviously you arrive kind of late morning, mid-afternoon from an overnight flight, and so I don't just sleep and lose the time and the jet lag. I just check into my hotel and I go for a walk. So the River Leith runs through Edinburgh, and that's a nice 2.5-3 mile. So I did do that, and that was my exposure to fresh air. It's kind of a cool wooded walk through the middle of the city. So yeah, it was as close to getting away as we had to drive up to Aberdeen on the North Shore to visit a couple hospitals up there, and that was a beautiful drive and beautiful town, but it was literally just drive through it to get to work and drive out to get back down to Edinburgh. So
it's so nice though to be with somebody that knows where they're going, what's going on. I mean, to have all that, and you just all right, I'm just going to sit back and take all this in and not worry about it. And
yeah, it was interesting. It was almost like an air show up there because there were so many low-flying fighter jets.
Oh, really?
And and I commented about it, and it turns out that that's very common there because the North Sea is heavily patrolled by Russian submarines and stuff. So they are constantly flying missions every day, just for that kind of reason, which you take for granted in some places in the world, but they don't there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Enough for the travel talk. Let's get into the meat of today's event. It is officially fat season that kicks off with Halloween, the candy season, which is, you start eating all the leftover candy, and then that kind of generally slides into, 3 weeks ago, I started seeing Golden AE eggnog show up at Hy-Vee, Fairway, and all the reputable dealers. And then some really interesting kind of offtakes of I think Jim Beam or Jack Daniels, one of the two of them has a pumpkin eggnog, and
of course, to my chagrin.
Right. So I always keep track of 4 or 5 pairs of pants as I slide into fat season.
Right.
Which fat season runs all the way to Easter, right? Yeah. So the Easter candy. So those that are listening now, you have my royal okay to get throw on that 3 to 5 to 8 to 10 pounds of extra weight from all the extra calories floating around from now until then.
So easy to do.
The season turns over immediately from Halloween to Christmas. And before we close the chapter on Halloween, we should report. We did get a report from Deadwood that the costume contest was won this year by an ensemble cast that came dressed as the burglars from the Louvre, construction worker thieves. So
I think
you're just wondering how that turned out. Apparently, those were the winners.
I think most of those guys have been arrested, but it's kind of interesting because when it first started happening, the media had all of these people on it, that were giving their take on they're gonna they're going to break all the jewels apart. I didn't realize that was the last of the jewels. When the French Revolution happened, the people shelled everything that was monarchy. Everything was monarchy. They got rid of. They sold. To set their country straight. So there was only a few pieces left that was of the French monarchy. And then everybody said, well, these guys were brilliant. They had all this planned out. They knew where the cameras were and all this other stuff. And now it seems like they're just if the three of us were to get together,
put together a heist.
We should do. We should steal that crap up on the second floor.
Right.
Nobody's ever watching that.
Ocean's 11 meets the Pink Panther.
Right. Yeah. No, it really sounds like these guys are just kind of mush-brained handymen. They're I've got access to a cherry picker. Let's make this happen.
Yeah.
Kudos to them.
That's great. That Ben episode was so good. Man.
Oh, he was fantastic. Yeah, really good.
As I was sitting there talking, just listening to him, I knew that was going to be a great episode. So.
Yeah. Got some great stories to tell.
I think there's more where that came from, of course.
For sure.
Right?
We could have been there all afternoon.
Yeah, it was really nice.
2 separate emails from 2 separate people that would not have known each other that said they wanted to hear Jeremy and Ben have their own podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Which I don't
Was that a stick in the eye for us?
I know. It's a little bit of enough with you guys. Let's hear these guys. Which,
what we need? The other people.
Yeah,
the more talented.
Less of what we're getting.
Great stories.
And more of who you've kind of given us a glimpse into.
It's a sign of a great interviewer, right? You showcase the subject matter.
So if you want to let us know who you would like to hear have a podcast instead of us. You can reach us at deepdivepod2025@gmail.com.
More them, less you.
Deepdivepod2025@gmail.com. So
Jeez.
that was a great episode, though. I have a feeling that Ben will probably be on a podcast in the future, and Jeremy too.
Yeah,
Jeremy was. We could interview Jeremy like 1,000 different things.
Oh, yeah.
Rugby, the Magic Bus.
For sure.
Yeah.
He is by far one of the most requested people, and he was on all three of our lists of people that we need to interview. So we'll have another interview with Jeremy for sure.
Well, so we closed the loop on the costume contest. Brad, I saw that you did carve pumpkins. Did you?
I did.
Did you roast seeds?
I did. Did not save the seeds and roast them.
I noticed.
No
I didn't
girls
see you
were
picking
home.
your teeth still with a toothpick, so you don't still have little chunks of pumpkin seed.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I think I said it so in the. I threw out a picture of it on Facebook or something that said, I felt like it was a tradition worth upholding, but I didn't even start carving until like 30 minutes before Halloween was supposed to get kicked off officially. So I only did one pumpkin, and because with the girls, we would do at least three.
Right.
They would each have a face that they would make, and then I would do mine. And this year is just like, okay, I just gutted one, did one, and didn't even bother with the seeds. And because the girls would have asked for that. Yep. And so, backsliding a little bit, but I'm going to rally. Next year, I'll definitely do the seeds, and I'll save something for you, John, because I know you love them.
Yeah.
Liberty had a playoff game on Halloween, so I was actually at the football field watching the football team, and so I did the whole leave a big bucket filled with chocolate, only to be taken by the first kid.
Right.
So I rolled home, the bowl was there.
Was it?
Yeah, the bowl was there, which I was really surprised because usually that's like the second or third thing to go. That's the bowl that we use to throw up in at our house.
Is it really?
So it's kind of an important bowl.
Yeah. Yeah.
As they say, the bowls are, and the electric fence was still on.
Right.
Yeah.
But when I went up there to get the bowl, there was still candy in it.
You're kidding me.
Yeah. So I want to say we had 125 pieces of chocolate and probably about 15, 20 pieces left.
Wow.
That were still chocolate, like Hershey's,
really?
Butterfingers, yeah. Some Snickers, yeah. Some legitimate stuff that they would want.
Top ones, yeah.
Well, we're going to start talking, I guess, about the season, right? As you've dubbed it, Fat Season.
Right.
So before we kick that off, do you want to start us off with some eggnog? And I'll give you guys a slice of pumpkin pie, and we can just really get into it with all spirit.
Might as well.
All right, let's do it. So John has gifted us with after we eat this, probably about 30 minutes, we're going to be sleeping because it's about 1,600 calories.
We're going to kick off Fat Season with homemade pumpkin pie that I made myself for you guys.
Wow.
Thank you.
And Ray's a special recipe of Annie eggnog with some red stag.
Right.
You jokingly said, as we closed out that last segment, that you put out your candy in a bucket that you had vomited in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Puke bucket.
So I don't know about you guys, but I always brine my turkey on Thanksgiving prior to cook, and I keep a food grade bucket for such a task.
Yeah.
So a few years ago, preparing for my Thanksgiving day before prep, and I can't find my food grade food bucket anywhere. Right. Those of you that know my wife knows that she's not afraid to launch into projects and do things, and it's not uncommon for my stuff, especially, to be recategorized and misplaced or altogether thrown away.
Mm-hmm. That's why you don't have the Wonder Woman cape anymore. But go ahead.
So I asked Becky, where is my turkey bucket?
Right.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I used a bucket for the salt for the driveway in preparation of the winter. She had filled my food grade bucket up with salt for the driveway. So I had to go buy another food grade bucket, start from scratch, day before Thanksgiving. So fast forward to the next year, I can't find my food grade bucket anywhere. This time it had been used to put yard waste and stuff in.
Right.
So I had to buy a third food grade bucket.
Right.
And I had to make it explicitly clear to my wife and anyone else in the house not to touch my food grade bucket. So I will put a picture on the Facebook page, but basically it says, do not touch the goddamn bucket. And this lives in a permanent space in the basement where it doesn't get touched until Thanksgiving when it needs to be deployed.
Really, I mean, I can empathize with you. The panic that must ensue to try to find a food grade plastic bucket the day before Thanksgiving.
Yes. 2 years in a row.
Right. You have such a great tradition of going out and getting fresh turkey.
I love that.
That is my favorite tradition.
I just ordered the turkey yesterday. I got my confirmation email. So
there's
coming again.
As much as the people love to see the walk of shame photos. I love to see your darling daughters.
It is fun because we started that when they were knee high and the turkeys were bigger than them.
Right.
And every year they've kind of fussed about it.
Right.
I hopefully a little bit jokingly, but they're all in college. And last year I had to travel for work, and the three of them rallied.
Right.
Went and got the turkey without me and sent me a picture. So
Oh,
it kind
that's
of warmed
even
the heart
better.
a
I
little
didn't know
bit.
that.
So,
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But yes, they already know the date for turkey pickup this year.
That's
So
perfect.
if you want to see a picture of our first fat meal of the season, fat season, go to our Deep Dive Pod group on Facebook. You'll see really nicely done pumpkin pie that John made, homemade pumpkin pie.
Mm-hmm.
You'll also see Jim Beam Red Stag. It's cherry infused whiskey. And you'll see the Anderson Eric's eggnog, the golden classic, which is the standard eggnog. It's the best eggnog. Show me a better eggnog and I will tell you it's not. So I'm going to have a piece of this pie.
Yeah, so pumpkin pie. Does it play both Thanksgiving, Christmas at your house, one or the other?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it not only plays. Yeah, it also, it's the OG, right? Everything
Yeah.
is pumpkin something now. Pumpkin coffee, pumpkin bars, pumpkin everything, but it's the OG. And this is really good, John. You did a good job.
Becky will tell you that she went to a holiday party many, many, many years ago before we were ever dating or had really met. And she was asking around who made the pumpkin pie at this holiday party. Mm-hmm. And
It was
she
you.
couldn't believe it was John Phipps, her coworker, that she probably didn't even really like.
Yeah.
When we started dating many years later, it was one of the first things she said is like, do you make that pumpkin pie every year? So for better or worse, it's a thing.
There
I
you
enjoy
go.
making it. And at
It's
least in the
awesome.
family, it gets
This
decent
is
reviews.
really good, man. This is
Excellent.
very good.
Love it.
You know, we were talking a little bit. Yeah, so it runs all the way through past Christmas, and actually, this is part of our Thanksgiving meal. I mean, this is like our post.
Yeah.
There have been times before where pumpkin pie was completely depleted during the Thanksgiving meal, and we've had to go
Yeah.
out and get pumpkin pies just for the cold cuts for the 2 weeks after Thanksgiving.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Well, I always make at least 3 or 4 that are Friday pies.
Yeah.
They're not even on display Christmas or Thanksgiving Day because
Yeah.
they're for football on Friday.
Right.
So you have to hide them in reserve.
My mom tells a great story. This is back in the 70s. She made a pumpkin pie and she just kind of winged it. So it was the first time that they hosted Thanksgiving for my dad's family and her family at their new place.
Mm-hmm.
Her focus was mainly on the pie crust. It was not on the filling.
Mm-hmm.
And so she just dumped pumpkin filling into the pie crust and without any sweetener, without any condensed milk, without any spices, without anything.
Okay.
And so they were all sitting around the table and like kind of looking at each other. My grandpa Bennett, my dad's dad, just eating the pumpkin pie, and he goes, "Oh, Patty, this is so good." You know, he was totally disarming the situation. And she goes, "He ate two pieces," and everybody's like, "Oh, Patty, tell me what you put in your pumpkin pie." And but yeah, my grandpa was a saint. He was such a good dude. But this is way better than what my mom made.
She doesn't know why they call it hamburger helper.
Right.
It's just fine on its own. Just open that can, dump it in.
So John has displayed our eggnog and red stag, Jim Beam red stag, in the traditional moose mugs from Christmas Vacation. I think it tastes a little bit better than moose mugs.
These are jumbo moose mugs. We've got a version at the Dunlap household. These are big daddies.
Yeah.
What we're drinking out of here is what you would have for a holiday party. This is for a soiree.
That's exactly. We got these to take to the tailgates and stuff, so they had to make sure you could hold an ample amount.
So with the Jim Beam Red Stag, cherry infused, I mean, I think brandy is actually supposed to be what goes into eggnog, but I find this delightful.
I made my own eggnog one year. Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of Alton Brown from Food Network.
Yeah.
And I got several of his cookbooks, and I've always subscribed to the theory you could cook his recipes to a T and they come out perfect.
Yeah.
My father was a huge fan of Paula Deen, the Southern.
Oh, yeah.
And I always thought if you just follow her recipes, they're way too salty or way too sweet. You always had to tweak her, but like Alton Brown is one you could always just follow to a T.
Right,
So
yeah,
he
I
has
agree.
a very famous recipe for aged eggnog that he recommends you make in the summer, age it.
Buried underground in a duck egg.
Yeah, well,
Right.
it's a process.
Right.
I went out and bought glass, milk jugs, And it's a heavy boozy deal, and he tells you in the recipe and the videos for the recipe that it seems like it's all booze, but it mellows.
Right.
I did the whole 9 yards.
Right.
Made it like 8 months in advance, broke it out at Christmas time, and it just was no good. It was absolute trash. It's like turpentine in a milk bottle.
Really?
It was the most disappointing effort. And I had 8 milk bottles occupying space in my
Right. That all had written, "Do not touch this damn milk bottle."
Exactly.
Becky had used all the milk bottles.
I'm shamelessly pouring them out in the dark at night. Becky's like, "I told you so." It's felt like burying my major award. Didn't pan out. So to your point, A&E is just simply the way to go.
Right.
Yeah.
I will tell you, one of the greatest memories I had from my childhood was we took a field trip to Des Moines, which was kind of a big deal. I mean, there's actually a logic behind field trips beyond just getting the kids out of the classroom. So for a kid from Centerville going to Des Moines, it was the first time a lot of kids saw the state capitol, which led itself into government and there was a lot of things that teachers could use those field trips for. But our afternoon chunk of our field trip, we went to the AE Dairy, and this was in September. Yeah. It was September. I mean, it was still hot out. They had to have the windows down on the bus when we went up there back into September, and they were just starting to make eggnog.
The season.
Right. So you could get white milk, you could get chocolate milk, you could get strawberry, or you can get eggnog. And all of the other kids in my class were totally flipped out by the word eggnog.
Yeah.
And I knew what I was in for. And I was like, that. The 8-year-old me knew.
Yeah.
Because I'd been exposed to it through my
Yeah.
family and stuff. One of my best buddies tried it, and he goes like, "That tastes like a candy bar." And I said, "Exactly. That's it's the best." I don't know I think if I were to have my last meal, eggnog would be
Nog would be in it.
my drink. AE eggnog for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like as a young kid, you don't try the eggnog.
No, it sounds weird.
Yeah, I think you're intimidated by it. I know it was in the punch bowl with booze, so
Right.
that version was allegedly off limits, which you would think maybe would add a little mystique and intrigue. But it was definitely a little bit older before we got turned on to the eggnog and all it had to offer.
And when you're at a holiday party and there is booze in the eggnog, it's tough to keep track about
Oh, yeah.
what you're in for. I mean,
Yeah.
it could be nobody tells you what the booze are and how much is in it.
Well, I feel like this is just a good holiday sipper, and there's a lot of great variations of booze and whatnot you can put in your eggnog. But maybe you should do our listeners a service, Ray, before the end of the December season here, and you come up with an eggnog bomb, a nog bomb.
Nog bung.
Maybe Jaeger's the right move. Maybe it's not. Maybe
Nog
something
bomb.
else. Just a little,
Nog
a
bomb.
little shot bomb. So you noodle that around, and
Yeah.
we'll come back and revisit
Yeah.
that and see what you found out for us.
I can
The
see that.
salty sweet bomb of some sort. All right, I will.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe there's some soaking. Maybe there's soaks in the eggnog for a little bit.
This could be a thing, like the
Yeah.
guy that invented Cool Whip and Tang. Like maybe 40 years from now, people
They'll
will
be
leave
talking
nog
about it.
bombs for Santa.
Right.
You won't even
Yep.
talk about milk and cookies anymore.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, here's to the beginning of fat season. May you all gain 5 pounds. May you all break out those 3 or 4 pairs of pants that you have in the back of your closet.
So in your households, is fat season Christmas season? Are you 100% into it? Music,
Well, you will
decor?
know because I'm wearing my kilt. That's when you know that I'm into fat season.
Yeah.
No,
Or is it Thanksgiving season? That's one of the things we often talk about is that there used to be 2 separate seasons, I feel
Yeah.
like. And I don't feel like there is anymore, but
No, I was just in. So I was in Hy-Vee today. I was in Target today. I was in Old Navy today. Just a heads up, my Christmas card. We're going to be those everybody wearing the same sleepwear pants thing.
Good.
Family. This
Good.
is our first.
Those are the best.
Those.
Good.
But yeah, and all 3 of those places had exclusively Christmas music. Like one song into
Oh.
it. Pre-Halloween, Hy-Vee was 1 or 2 songs for every half an hour. I don't know if I can speak to any other stores, but yeah, it just basically goes from Halloween to Christmas now. There's no Thanksgiving.
yeah.
But are there Thanksgiving specific songs? I mean, obviously Arlo Guthrie had.
Right. It's
on-
Arlo. Yeah, Alice's Restaurant. You're definitely a Southern Iowa dude, man. I don't know if it's a Southern Iowa thing, but on the ride home from the family, you listen to Alice's Restaurant.
But
That's-
aside from that,
Adam Sandler would like a word.
that's true.
right.
Love to eat the turkey because it tastes so good.
Right.
Okay, fair. There's at least 2 There's at least 2 Thanksgiving songs.
Right.
Were there songs on the Peanuts? Was that Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I think that mostly what John is talking about was in between Halloween and Christmas, there were the Native Americans, and there were Pilgrims, and there were the buckle shoes, and there were the cornucopias, and there were the turkey hens, and there were the...
Yeah.
I'm going to throw something out right now where this is one of these things we could plant a flag in the ground now for next year. Think about this. Deadwood costume party next year.
Yeah.
The 3 of us go as Tarzan, Frankenstein, Incredible Hulk, singing Christmas carols.
I'm 100% in.
Who was it? Tarzan, Frankenstein, and Tonto.
Oh, Tonto. That's what it was, yeah. We might have to make it the Hulk now.
We got to do it. Well,
we could just get up in front of the whole crowd and sing Away in Manger.
That's it.
On
That's
your
it.
recommendation, I watched that new Frankenstein movie. That's dark, dude. That is...
Did I recommend the Frankenstein movie?
When we were at the Deadwood, you
Yeah.
said that there was a new cut of the Frankenstein movie, and it is from from Frankenstein's view, and so it was from the creator, the guy who made Frankenstein, and then halfway through the movie, it flips over from the monster's side.
Yeah.
And man, it is super dark. Worth watching, though. I tell you, it's
I did see it on a movie.
It's heavy.
Flight.
It's heavy. I think my favorite part of the Peanuts movie or the Peanuts Thanksgiving is like what they have on their plate. It's like popcorn. It's nuts. It's everything a kid would put. There's nothing made in an oven at all on the plate.
Right. So unscripted mid-pod speed round. There's only one right answer. The best Thanksgiving movie of all time.
Well, it's probably Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
I was surprised it took that long to get it, right?
No,
that's it, right?
I struggled. I couldn't think of one.
And I've been told that I have to watch that John Candy documentary.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
For as kind of and funny as person as John is, I think... and he made a lot of movies that I totally forgot about. But Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, I think, is his...
Fabulous work.
Yeah.
I came so close to living that in real life last year. I was on a flight home Wednesday before Thanksgiving. And due to some emergency technical issue, we got diverted to Lincoln, Nebraska and landed. And it was like in jeopardy whether I was getting home for Thanksgiving or I was going to rent a car. I mean, it was like flashbacks of the movie happening to me in real life.
Right.
But fortunately, I got home in time to
get
my bucket that had been undisturbed to make my turkey. But
to celebrate any holiday, including Arbor Day in Lincoln, it's a damn shame.
Yeah,
that would have been tough.
Damn shame.
So there's really no Thanksgiving season. There's not a lot of Thanksgiving music.
And that was, even growing up, and maybe your school is different, but didn't you have Thanksgiving like type decor in your classroom on the chalkboard, like turkeys and cornucopia? And back in the old days, didn't you make like pilgrim hats and...
Well, you did the hand turkey,
Yeah. Well, the holiday seasons are all about family drama, I think, anyway, for a lot of people. And we dress like nice enough for Thanksgiving, but we are from Dallas, as you may know, and we do change. At least my dad and I always changed after the meal is done into Cowboys gear for the game. I mean, that's was standard issue for Thanksgiving. Yeah. Still is. You went to the football game, the Lions game.
Detroit Lions and Green Bay Packers game in Detroit. And I will tell you, friends, I had a delightful time in Detroit. Please do not be afraid of that city. At least not on Thanksgiving Day. Detroit has a wonderful parade, like a legit parade with real floats, not like, Ford dealership towing a, hay wagon. I mean, they're legit floats.
Yeah.
Great food, great vendors. The downtown was vibrant. It was great. They have things set up really well for the parking and the game. So I have a Detroit Lion fan in my family, and I have 2 Green Bay fans in my family, and the environment was great. And I would tell you, even if you don't have a team in the game, that was a great way to celebrate Thanksgiving.
Cool.
And we made I pre-made turkey dressing sandwiches, put them in Ziploc bags, brought a crock pot with us, and we had it in the hotel after the game. So.
Very cool.
The history of Thanksgiving football in the NFL, back in the day, football was Sunday, only Sunday. It was really unthought of to play it on another day. And the NFL approached Tex Schramm, the general manager of the Dallas Cowboys, and asked, we'd like to do something on the holiday. Would you consider letting us have a football game, one of your home games, on Thanksgiving, not on Sunday? And he, being a forward-thinking businessman, said, we'll do it on one condition. It's a lifetime contract. We always get to host a Thanksgiving football game as long as you do it. And the NFL agreed, and then Detroit followed suit. Yeah. Made it a lifetime thing, and those 2 cities have had that as a tradition ever since, and it's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I will tell you, in a lifetime of getting super overfed and then just retiring to the front room, it was fun to actually be part of that environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To know that. And it was
Oh,
a
yeah,
good
so
game, and everything about it was great. So.
That's great.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the parade, and we're talking about the seasons. The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade was traditionally kicked off Christmas.
Right. You didn't see Santa before the parade.
He was the back of the parade. He was
Right.
the last
Oh, yeah,
entry in the parade. It
Right.
was Santa coming to usher in Christmas at Macy's.
Right. No.
Now it's like, yeah, he's late to the party when he gets there because it's been Christmas since Halloween. But
Nothing is holy. Nothing. Yeah, I mean, Santa's handing out Halloween candy.
Right.
So yeah, no, that was the start. You're absolutely right. When you saw Santa, he was the last float, and that was when Christmas season began. I noticed that the people across the street have their Christmas tree up already.
if you can hear any background noise as we're recording this,
Yeah.
there's a construction of a tree happening upstairs in my house.
Okay, there we go now.
All right.
Yes.
It kind of makes sense. I mean, it's there's that window. That's kind of where you figure out what kind of marriage you're in by when your wife wants to put up the tree.
Well, to Becky's defense, it's about a 10-tree house by the time we're done, so she's got to get
Right.
started early.
Right.
Constructing the big one. Now, the one tree that I get any influence in is down here in the studio/basement. It's the only one that gets multicolored lights.
Yeah.
It's the only one that has a potpourri of ornaments from the various breweries and
Yeah.
places of
Right.
repute that I visited.
Yeah.
It's contained down here, out of sight, out of mind. Everything upstairs looks like it's from a department store.
Right.
Yeah.
You guys got like vaulted ceilings too. You got a significant tree.
Yeah, it takes a big ladder to get that thing decorated.
Right.
And again, I don't get to touch it, so it's not my problem.
Right. Brad, are you hauling stuff out of the basement, or you guys celebrate?
We are a little more, I would say, traditional from the standpoint of Christmas tree will not be considered until after Thanksgiving, and we're a real tray situation. So, yeah, sometime I've never had it up pre-Thanksgiving, and sometimes I don't get it up until a few, 2 or 3 weeks before Christmas. But yeah, we'll put up a real tree sometime in early December.
Yeah, what's really for me has become one of my favorite holiday traditions recently, like a new tradition, is like the first Saturday after Thanksgiving, bike ride Tipsy Pigs when Brad has to leave to go get the tree.
Yeah.
And so it's always fun because I think one year even I might have still been on bike and I see the Volkswagen with this scrawny overpriced tree tied to the top and Brad about 4 or 5 pigs deep and like bartered like a gypsy trader to buy that thing.
You've got vaulted ceilings too, but is that all that's left when by the time you get there is this little 4-foot tree?
Yeah. We often did, and I prefer to do the Optimists. There is that what's the
By the Dairy
ice cream?
Queen?
Yeah, right there in the Dairy
I think it's a Doug Alberhaski production.
Absolutely.
Oh, is he in that crew?
Yeah,
yeah, that's the Optimus Club, yeah.
His scouts are the ones that'll prep it,
Okay.
wrap it, and tie it for you.
Right.
Yeah. So that's been the go-to move usually. But yeah, by the time often we are running a little bit late, and yeah, there's not a lot of big stuff left.
That
There was a-
surprises me, man.
there-
I can only see you getting the family all together in the Volkswagen, driving up to Wisconsin and cutting some
Forgetting the saw.
but forgetting the saw.
Right. Right.
Doing. Yeah. So no, we'll get it going, but a little bit after Thanksgiving.
All right. Well, that's actually a nod to an upcoming interview. We're going to interview Doug Alberhaski. We're talking to him about his movie, Death of a Brewer. And we're going to talk a little bit about generational succession. He's the owner of John's Grocery, which is a family business. And his son, JD, just came on after graduating from Central College. And so that's going to be an upcoming podcast we're going to have. You're not going to want to miss that. Doug is absolutely one of the most fascinating people.
There'll be plenty of material.
The depth of knowledge he has about Iowa City, legend and lore and history, and all things beer and bar related, especially on the north side of Iowa City.
Right.
And he wraps around just being a great storyteller and engaging guy. So it's going to be, I assume, a
It could be a
2-episode
two-parter.
session, which will, in every minute of it will be worth listening to.
Right. And he's actually going to set us up with another separate episode that's going to be seasonal drinks around Thanksgiving
Okay.
and Christmas.
Okay.
And it'll serve kind of as a guide of what to buy as you go out and prepare for the party season, the holiday party season, the office party season, as far as wines, beers, and spirits that are exclusively out there during the holiday season.
And we'll let Doug talk about it, but go ahead and put December 3rd on your calendar in the evening because they do an open house where they have wines, beers, things that pair for the holidays, and it's an amazing event every year.
Yeah.
Great chance to pick up stuff to pair with your meals. And so he'll tell us about it, but no time too soon to put that on the calendar. December 3rd, I believe is what he said the date is.
All right, boys. Well, let's get ready to go into the speed round.
Yeah.
Here we go. Iowa is right in the middle of the harvest season. Please give your farmers and the field hands the distance they need in their semis and all the wagon hauling apparatus. And this week's speed round is corn. So I'm going to give you 5 titles to songs, and you're going to tell me whether they are real Korn songs, the band Korn, or whether they are something that I made up in my head. So, Brad, why don't you grab a piece of paper and pen?
Okay. Yep.
John is ready to go, as always. The first song, Freak on a Leash.
Freak on a Leash.
Freak on a Leash. Is this a legitimate Korn song, or is that a song that I've made up? Freak on a Leash.
Okay.
Second song, Cold as a Clown's Heart. Cold as a Clown's Heart. Is that something I made up, or is that a Korn song?
Yeah.
Song number 3, Narcissistic Cannibal. It's all about me eating you.
Starting to feel weird.
Holy Ray's got a mind that can pull this off. You never know what in the hell he's thinking.
Number 4, Rotting in the Vein. Is that a Korn song, or is that made up in my head?
Yeah.
And the 5th and final song of the speed round, God on a Leash. Is that a Korn song, or did I make that up?
Okay.
Let me know when you're ready.
Might as well go for it.
very much from the hip on this.
I don't
Ray.
have much in the Korn catalog.
Yeah,
All right,
corn.
that's the best
corn,
part about all this.
corn
So,
casserole.
as we roll into the harvest season, we will start with you, John. Freak on a Leash. Is that a Korn song?
Yes.
Or not? Brad?
I said yes.
Yeah, that is a Freak on a Leash is a Korn song. It's off their album Follow the Leader. Probably one of their most notable songs. Ask your grandma, she will sing the lyrics. Number 2, Cold as a Clown's Heart. Brad?
I said yes.
I said no.
No, I made that up in my own mushy brain. Cold as a Clown's Heart. Number 3, John, Narcissistic Cannibal.
Yeah, that's a Korn song.
Brad?
I was no.
That is a Korn song. It's off their Path to Totality album.
Yeah, it is.
Filled with love ballads. Number 4, Brad, Rotting in the Vein.
I said yes.
John?
Yes.
Yeah, it's off their 7th Suffering album. And last but not least, John, God on a Leash.
No, you can't put a leash on God.
All right, and Brad?
I was saying no.
I made that up in my mushy brain.
We did. Is corn casserole the worst thing on the Thanksgiving platter?
I don't know. I think it's pretty good. I mean, mine's made with it's a
The Jiffy?
yeah, the Jiffy mix. Mine's
Yeah.
pretty good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, corn casserole is popular at our place.
Yeah. No,
The
it's pretty
girls
good
love
on
it.
our yeah.
This is coming from a pumpkin seed guy.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
All right, gentlemen, you got it out of your systems?
Yep. Until next time.
All right, everybody. Hey, thanks for joining us. You can join us on our Deep Dive Pod group, which is on Facebook, or you can email us directly at deepdivepod2025@gmail. Stick around. We got some great interviews coming up. You're going to love them as we get into the holiday season. Bye-bye.